It's me, Abdurrahman again, and today we're going to learn about fractions. And not only fractions, we're going to learn how to multiply fractions with whole numbers. So, with whole numbers. And it's going to be very easy and it's going to be lots of fun. So, come on and let's begin. Now, here we are given the expression 2 over 3 times 6. So 6 is the whole number here. Now what we've got to do is, we can, as you know, multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. So multiplication is the same thing as repeated addition. And if I were to rewrite 2 by 3 times 6, I could rewrite this as 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3, and I'm going to keep going until I do this 6 times. So here's the 5th time and here's the 6th time. So as you can see, I've written 2 by 3 6 times. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 5 and 6. And as you can see, the denominators are all equal. And you've learned this in past videos, that if the denominators are all equal, then we just have to add the numerators and leave the denominators. So if we add 2 for 6 times, it would be the same thing as 2 times 6 over 3, which is of course 12 over 3. Now if I were to rewrite 12 over 3, I could do that as well, and that's called simplification. So I'm going to simplify 12 by 3. Like, you could also write this answer, this is also correct, no probs, but we could make it more simple, a bit easier, even more easier to understand. Now for that, let me introduce you to something called the number line. So here's the number line with numbers from 0 to 6. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide it into 3 parts. Why am I doing that? That's because our fraction was 2 by 3. And 3 represents the denominator, which is 3 in this case, represents the number of total parts. So the total parts here are 6, but I don't want 6 parts, I want 3 parts, so I'm going to make them 3. So here's 1 part, here's 2 part, and here's the 3rd part. So once it's divided into 3 parts, I'd want to select 2 parts from that. So I'm going to select 2 parts. Here's the first part, and here's the second part. So I've selected 2 parts from 3 parts. Now what I'm going to do here is, you remember our old answer, which was 12 over 3. I could find a common. I could see if it's 12 is divisible by 3, and yeah, it is. 3 times 4 equals 12. So I could rewrite this whole thing over here as, 3 4 times. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. As you can see, I've added 3 4 times, and then I'm going to do that over 3. As you can see, the denominator still doesn't change. And if you notice, I could rewrite this again as 3 over 3 plus 3 over 3, and I'm going to write it 6 times, as it's the same thing as our last time. I'm going to write this 4 times. Okay, now I've written this 4 times, and now directly your mind can understand that in past videos we've learned that if the denominator and the numerator are the same, then it means a whole. So this right over here means a whole, this means a whole, this means a whole, and this means a whole. So we could just add wholes up. It's that simple. which would lead us to 4. It's the same answer we obtained right over here. You could do this either ways, and you could simplify this in some cases. For example, in our case right over here, 2 by 3 times 6, and in some cases like 2 by 3 times 7, you cannot. But whatever, it's still worth a try. And now let's go to the summary. So we've learned that when multiplying with a whole number, if you are multiplying a fraction with a whole number, the denominator will always stay the same. As you know, multiplication is just repeated addition, so it's easier to remember that way. And sometimes we can simplify the answer, so it's easier for us to understand. So until next time, it's me, Abdurrahman. See you soon.